Welcome to Urbanna. It's the best little small town in Virginia.
What's up guys, Chris VA Travels. I'm down here in the small little riverside town of Urbanna. Small town with a lot of history. And I'm on the south side of the Rappahannock in the Middle Peninsula, Middlesex County. And I'm going to knock out a walking tour that I found online. And actually, and today happens to be their Founders Day for the 250th anniversary. So bonus, I didn't know. But yeah, the walking tour starts at the History Museum, but they're not open yet. So I'm gonna start right here, wrap around, finish off with the History Museum and the festival. So anyway, check this place out. And this looks like the main strip. We've got the Virginia Street Cafe in front of us. And I saw people eating in there. That's pretty cool. And the courthouse is gonna be up on the left. Yeah, we're at a pretty hopping intersection. And but in front of us is the Bristow store. You'll see in the window it says RS Bristow Merchant, so still an active store it looks like, pretty cool. And built back in 1898, the store sold coal, cordwood, railroad ties, harnesses, and horseshoes. The grocery section offered live chickens, salted meats, and fish. The post office was once located in what is now the shoe section. And they still have merchandise on the top shelves that you have to use a rolling ladder to get to, so.
Early for the festivities.
Oh, awesome.
And this lady right here is still alive. That's Betty Allen Bristow. This is Junior Bristow, RS Junior Bristow, who passed away in 1988. And then in 1988, after he passed, Mrs. Marshall, who was the drugstore right here, I don't know if you passed that, Marshall's drugstore, that was the wife of the pharmacist there. She passed away in October of 23, and I opened up in October of 24.
Yeah, she's the third owner in the last 150 years. Yeah, there's the ladder up there, the rolling ladder I was talking about. And what is this? Just a really old scale. The standard computing scale, wow, out of Detroit. If I didn't have so many shirts already, I'd buy one. Test your grip today. There's the gentleman I think that she showed earlier. Okay, yeah, Robert Bristow, longtime owner of Sells General Store.
But we're number H, so I have to stamp that H.
Oh yeah, another rolling ladder right there.
There's a little write-up about the store too.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool.
I'm going to do payrolls, so I'm trying to get that done before I left.
Old hat back there. Well, here's the brochure. And so the present store was opened in 1898, but the original store was opened in 1876. All right, so yeah, that's why they're having the 150th anniversary. And the Bristow store was one of the first gas stations in the county. 1911, a gas tank was installed and gas was brought from Baltimore. Wow, in barrels via sailing vessels. Cross Street isn't on the walking tour, but let me just walk down here real fast. You'll see in front of us a little boat called the Explorer. Here's the side of the Bristow store, and you see a pretty big shop. But let me just take a look at this map. And yeah, I'm gonna be hitting most of these sites. Urbanna Baseball, pretty cool. Coca-Cola bottling plant. Wow. All right. So yeah, we're at the intersection of Cross and Virginia. So bam, here we are. But yeah, Bristow store, 1876. And like I say, just let me walk a little ways down this strip. And pretty cool. All right, so they got little signs on all these buildings. All right, so museum in the streets. Colonial Courthouse. Almost looks like a church, but pretty cool verge board up on the front gable. Yeah, it says in 1976, the old Middlesex County Courthouse building was placed here. And it's one of only 11 colonial Virginia courthouse buildings remaining. Wow. And we've got a map right here, 1767. Right here, this was a rendering done in 1978 of what the courthouse may have looked like during the 1800s. You can pause if you want to read the full write-up, but I'll tell you, 1748, the town of Urbanna became the county seat of Middlesex. Remained so for 104 years until 1852, when it moved to Saluda. I like to see all these mom and pop shops. We've got Marshall's Drug right here. Pretty cool and pretty fine brick building. I'll have to find out what this is. Hopefully there's a write-up on it. But pretty neat stone lintels there above the window. I'll step across the street to get a better look, but yeah, another local store right here. Okay, I might have to look up later what this building is, but cool arched windows above, nice brackets under the overhang. And I'm wondering if there's a hipped roof on it. I can't tell from where I'm standing. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and turn around. All right, so this place is starting to come alive. Again, there's the Virginia Street Cafe, and I believe there's a little museum. There's a Waterman's Museum inside of this Urbanna Harbor Gallery. Yeah, so let me pop in there and see if there's anything interesting to look at. All right, so yeah, Waterman's Museum, and they're closed Mondays and Tuesdays. Okay, she said that actually about a month ago, she took a lot of this stuff off to auction. Her husband, who was running the museum, he passed away, and it was eating up some of her retail space. But she said there's a couple things still back here to look at. Right here, we've got the Bristow house during the blizzard of '96. I think I remember that. Okay. Cool. And the Urbanna school right here. Pretty big school. I saw online the population is about 490 people here in Urbanna, and it's the lowest it's been since the 1950s. A few more buildings right here. I know we're going to be looking at the Wormley-Lee-Montague house. Oh, Rosegill. See a couple of sailing boats up here. Four-mast schooner right here. And yeah, you would have seen these things out on the Chesapeake. This clock caught my eye. And it's got handles on the side. And what is this? Pure lemon extract. Really old dispenser down here. Anyway, yeah, I just wanted to take a quick look back here. Let me go look at that old courthouse. All right, yeah, so across the way, the old courthouse, and it is now the Middlesex County Women's Club. All right, and it's one of the oldest surviving buildings in Urbanna, and one of only 11 colonial courthouses still standing in Virginia. I think we read that earlier. Courthouse was built in 1748, and that's when Urbanna became the county seat of Middlesex. And those are original stained glass windows. Pretty nice arched windows on it. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's on the historic register, and you see more reenactors over there. Old Middlesex Courthouse. I'll just pause and let you read, but I'm sure it's going to go over a lot of the same information I just talked about. According to tradition, during the Civil War, it briefly housed Confederate troops. going through the history of the town, the history of Middlesex. Oh, check it out. Oyster Christmas tree.
Hey, don't forget to sign the book when you go out.
Okay. And here's the brochure if you'd like to take some.
Wow, big old vaulted ceiling. Pretty nice. I wanted to get this painting in. Really nice. Okay, yeah, I just wanted to take a quick look in here at the side of the church, and you'll see there is a window up on that gable at one time, and a big old barn back here. Okay, let me keep on going. All right, so we've got some lavender on display, and let me walk across. Wow, premium lobster rolls. And check this out, small town STB burger, big time taste. And dang, if they open up later, I see somebody in there. I guess they haven't opened up yet. The hours are right there, so 11, so opening up pretty soon. I might stop in there for lunch. They have a dog water bowl. Oh, you can play some cornhole. And check out the Big Eagle. Very patriotic town. There's the town clock right there. This patriotic home is Lansdowne, one of Virginia's finest early Georgian-style mansions, believed to have been built in 1750. Wow. And you'll see the Flemish bond brickwork, burnt headers. And yeah, home of Arthur Lee. He was the son of Thomas Lee, builder of Stratford Hall. And yeah, really nice looking home. Zoom back in. Oh, so this is saying 1741. Okay, so we've got some soldiers, frontiersmen walking down the street. Yeah, so Lansdowne, 1763, Ralph Wormley-III, who built Rosegill, sold this house to James Mills, a Scottish merchant. And then Lee named this estate Lansdowne in honor of his friend William Fitzmaurice, Earl of Shelburne and Marquess of Lansdowne. Okay. Fitzmaurice became Prime Minister in 1782 and negotiated the Treaty of Peace, recognizing the independence of the United States. Oh, all right. Cool, yeah, it's really getting busy. Have the drums and fife going. But check this old Victorian house out over here. This is called the Marble House. And wow, pretty fancy. And I see a little outbuilding in the back. Okay, let me get a better look at it. Oh, pretty neat little kind of finials on the top. But yeah, nice wraparound porch. House was built by Lord Byron van Wagenen. Wow, schooner captain whose family owned an oyster house and pickle factory. It was built at the turn of the last century. It gets its name from the marble that steamboats carried here from Baltimore that adorns the porches and basement. Wow. And to the right, we're gonna have the Wormley-Lee-Montague cottage. Oh, there they are. Good place to get a smash burger and some breakfast right there. The Wooden Pickle Cafe. All right. But yeah, let me go on up to the Wormley-Lee-Montague cottage. Little yellow house back here. Believed to be the oldest surviving building in Urbanna, probably built around 1747. Wow. And you see steep pitched roof, cedar shingles, and you can tell the house is settled. Those dormers are a little crooked. Built by the Ralph Wormley, and apparently he owned about half the town. 1791, it was acquired by Arthur Lee, and he may have used it as the plantation office for the Lansdowne house. Okay. Wow, really big chimney on it. So probably had the kitchen over. Oh, here's a little right up right here. Okay, so it says 1791 Revolutionary War diplomat Dr. Arthur Lee bought Lansdowne, and yeah, used it as an office. So kind of the same information. When Lee died, he left Lansdowne in this building to his brother, Richard Henry Lee. Okay, signer of the Declaration of Independence. Pretty cool. All right, so yeah, Richard Henry Lee lived here. Cool, all right. And what else? Okay, across the street, as I had read, the Marble House. Okay, so this is saying built 1905. All right. Middlesex Marble Company. So we've got dragonflies, butterflies leading us in. And so I guess they opened early for the festival. Okay, I just wanted to step inside real fast. There's a few things for sale in here. But appears original floors, it looks like. Nailed in with these homemade nails. Okay, so I'm going to be turning around to follow the map. But I just see right here, town of Urbanna, Virginia. Pretty cool seal. I believe it says 1680 at the top. Just wanted to get a closer look at the seal. Yeah, 1680. Is that going to be John Smith on the right? And a Nimcock Indian on the left with a little tobacco leaf on the barrel. All right. All right, so I'm backtracking. I don't know how well you can see this, but yeah, the walking tour is on the Urbanna website. 14 stops. Now headed down Prince George Street. Should be a house around this corner here. And this is called Atherston Hall. Steep pitched roof on it, a couple internal chimneys. Pretty cool millwork on the gable. And are those brackets under the overhang? Anyway, fine home. All right, we've got the 250 banner on the fence. And yeah, so the write-up, it says Charles Palmer built this home for Captain James H. Bohannon in 1880. Bohannon was commander of the Lagonia, an ocean-going schooner owned by William B. Hearst out of Baltimore. All right. And pretty nice tree right there. I don't know what that thing is. Pretty cool. Got the hydrangeas in bloom. Right next door, looks like a barn. But the sign next to the door, it says the tavern, established 1742. And we've got another Virginia flag on it. Well, the tavern's got a couple stories to it. Again, built in the 1740s. It says when a night's lodging was 5 pounds of tobacco or 6 pence. And local legend has it that Patrick Henry delivered a speech on the steps of the tavern, probably here having a drink. But yeah, and the tavern was the site of a Civil War ball given for Confederate officers, camped just outside of Urbanna. And when it came time for refreshments, all they had to serve were sweet potatoes. Okay. Across the street, a giant baby blue smokestack fireplace. And I'm wondering, was this a factory at one time? Any locals can let me know down in the comments. A lot of critters in this section. Oh, all right, so they're big on the Virginia flag. Cool. And you almost think that this building was an old general store or something at one time. I don't know. It's not on the map, but. And then bank over here. I don't know that it's still open, but Victorian right here. It's not a part of the walking tour, but looks like it's being shaded by a giant ginkgo. Old gas station right here. Very patriotic town. We proudly honor Colonel Thomas Phelps Sr. Okay, U.S. Army. Oh, killed in action. All right, global war on terror. Trying to get rid of that glare. Oh, all right, they've got a little town trolley, similar to Fredericksburg. Loops you around. Another big Victorian. Same kind of millwork on the gable up there. Yeah, there's gonna be a house up here on the right. Oh, right here it says the Bristow House, 1876. Wraparound porch. Hopefully I can get a good look at the front. A lot of trees. But Walter Green Morse, U.S. Army, Cold War, Persian Gulf, GWOT. At the corner of Cross and Watling Street. With some cactus down below. Just as I thought, obstructed by trees. And actually, this is the side. And I was looking at the front earlier. Yeah, giant poplar growing right in front of it. But I'll tell you, 1876, Charles Palmer designed to build this house for Mr. and Mrs. R.S. Bristow, who owned the merchant store that we saw in the beginning. And yeah, first family in the town to have a camera and electricity. It says the blockhouse that's behind the building contained batteries that provided electrical services to the house. Across the street, just wanted to show off this Victorian. It's not on the walking tour, but it kind of shows you what time period this area popped up in. And check out on the roof. Interesting. One over here also. Anyway, let me head up this Watling Street and get a closer look at this Victorian. And maybe I can kind of see the house better from far away. Yeah, big church up here. Well, maybe you can see it a tad bit better from further back. But yeah, that's the Bristow house tucked back in there. But right across the street, this house isn't on the walking tour. It appears it probably should be, but again, more really good woodwork. Check out the trim on the porch. But yeah, another nice Victorian home. And walk up, get a closer look at this church. This church was also built by the Charles Palmer. Again, the one who built the Bristow church right behind us. Zoom in on this tower. This thing was built in 1892. And arch windows. Well, I guess the windows aren't really arched, but just kind of shutters above them to form arches. And lancet windows back here. Yeah, here's the front of it. Nice looking church. Nice steeple on it. And a lot bigger than I thought. hydrangeas in bloom. And gonna walk down here, wrap to the right. Can't really, yeah, hydrangea, they've got a little fountain back there. Oh, and I'll let you know that Urbanna is named after Queen Anne, the British monarch, early 1700s, the last in the Stuart dynasty. And it's a combination of Urb, which is Latin for city, and yeah, Anne, Queen Anne. I can't zoom in any further, but behind the house with all the hydrangeas, it looks like the remains of a big chimney. So was there like a giant plantation home there, brick Georgian mansion at one time? I don't know. Or it might just be a fancy fireplace they built. I'm gonna have to find some lunch pretty soon. House here called Overlook, built in 1885. It's got the Federal Eagle on the side. But yeah, nice spot up on the hill here. It's on the National Register of Historic Places. Yeah, right on the other side of the water, a crazy looking house, big wraparound porch, giant dormers going around. It almost looks like a lighthouse on top. I'm gonna have to find out what that is. The golden era of steamboats, it began when two steam-powered sidewheel vessels out of Norfolk named Petersburg and Albemarle arrived in 1821 at the mouth of the Urbanna Creek. And in 1828, a Baltimore firm started up the first commercial steamboat route on the Rappahannock, and Urbanna was one of the main stops. The steamboat era ended in 1937, lasted a little over 100 years. It kicked up in the 1820s. Wrap back around, and the Explorer, John Smith's shallop replica. All right, I'm gonna walk up and take a look once they're done. Map of his 3 expeditions up the Chesapeake. And his very detailed map that he created in 1612. Crazy. No historical pictures of the boat exist except for a small cartoon on Smith's map, the one we just looked at. But there's the Egghead tour. And rowing across Jackson's Creek.
For the 400th anniversary of Jamestown, this was our project, the Deltaville Maritime Project, to contribute to the celebration. So in 06, we laid the keel and launched the boat. That was the day it was launched in September, rowing it. And then we installed the mast over the winter, and that was the first sail. And in April, we went down to Jamestown and celebrated with President Bush and all the people that were down there to celebrate.
Step up here and take a look.
Not on the calendar.
All right, there's the till right there. The steering wheel on boats hadn't been invented yet.
They stopped on their way back.
All right, so he's giving a demonstration.
Yeah, 5,000 years before Europeans started working with copper, we were already working with it. And by the time Europeans started, we were kind of giving it up because metallurgy is a lot of work. The archaeologist told me, "Oh, that's a child's toy. That's a child's toy." Okay? Okay, let me hit you in the head with it. Let's see if it's a child's toy. All right? Because this is very light, long handle, so I can reach out and touch you. Right? Put you down quick. You're not going to get up. It was not our intention to kill you.
The James Mills Scottish Factor Store, home of the John Mitchell map. All right, so we're gonna take a look at the museum and the festival activities and knock out the last couple of houses. And another fine Victorian. Nice conical tower on that thing. This is the Gresset House, G-R-E-S-S-I-T-T. Built in the original portion built in the early 1740s, making it one of the oldest houses in Urbanna. And you see some Ionic columns with the Scamozzi capitals on the columns right there, kind of fancy. But check this out, this was home to Harbor Master William Clark. Yeah, from William and Clark fame. And he was born out there in Caroline County. And yeah, he left here to join up with Meriwether Lewis to explore the Northwest. It's right back here, the building with all the flags, Urbanna Museum and Visitor Center. Again, James Mills Scottish Factor Store, circa 1766. Nice home surrounded by these trees. Looks like we've got a walnut tree right here. But yeah, customs house for the colonial port of Urbanna. And there is evidence of a window inside where customs office business may have been conducted. A vault with a heavy wooden door and hardware was under the basement stairs until 1935. Cool brick wall down below. Rolling some tobacco down the hill to the port, put on the ship, take to England. And this is the James Mills Scottish Factor Store, as it would have looked in the mid-1700s. And here it is today. Yeah, two-man screw press right here, used to compress the tobacco into the barrel. And here it is, the 1740s, if you can make that out. And at first it wasn't a warehouse, it was a general store. Okay, here's a picture of it before all the dormers were added. And believed to have been built sometime between 1754 and 1762. So down in front of us, this would have been the Tobacco Road. Again, roll the hogsheads down there. And yeah, the famous John Mitchell's map. Born in Lancaster County. So some information on that famous Mitchell's map. And John Mitchell was born in Lancaster County, 1711. Studied medicine at the University of Edinburgh. 1734, opened a practice here in Urbanna. British American diplomats used the map, acclaimed for its accuracy, to negotiate the Treaty of Paris in 1783, which ended the Revolutionary War and established boundaries for the new nation. The map served to document treaties into the 20th century. Mitchell died in or near London, 1768. Side of the customs house, I see an outbuilding behind it. And all right, more information right here. Looks like rolling another hogshead. Oh, this is over at Solderly Plantation in Maryland. All right, so side of the building, pretty cool old shutters. Got a little small 1-pounder cannon right here. Basically like a little shotgun. Ha! Cap on it. There's your little ramrod and worm and whatever else you needed. cool. Just take a look inside this rowboat. And it might have some grog right there. Oh, big old spear.
I'm not very dexterous.
Oh yeah. Lemon juice. Little onion bottle right here. And we've got a fish fry going on. And you see how they're flavoring them. Oops. Hearts of oak. Paddleboard kind of badminton type game, it appears. And this looks pretty interesting. Okay, pretty good spread. Some cheese, apples, cookies, nuts. I don't know if these are dates or raisins. Oh, a housewife back here.
This is a trocar. This is a large animal trocar because we also had to deal with horses. So this is a horse trocar, but this is
I have a little writing kit right here. Oh yeah, you got your wax for your seal. Oh, there's the seal right there, actually. A couple of inkwells. Over here. A couple shoe buckles. All your threads. Oh, cool. All right, so we've got a demonstration coming up. Let me walk over and stand in the shade.
It was that the flared barrel was supposed to allow you to shoot small shot, not an entire solid ball itself, but much smaller bird shot, even buckshot, and it would spread out. I'm cleaning out the pan right here. See the little bathtub? Now here's the thing. See that tiny little hole right in there? That's called the touch hole. It's the same thing as this hole on top of the cannon. And barrel, we get the idea on there too. But two different ways of loading it. That's half cocked. You know what you can't do at half cocked?
Go off.
Exactly. Can't go off half
Don't
cocked.
go off half cocked.
You dump a little bit of powder into the pan, just enough to fill it.
Have a care!
Cool, huh?
Got some surgical tools. Is that
Oh, absolutely. How can we help you today?
I think I know what that is.
What is it?
Drill into your skull.
Exactly. And why would you want to do that?
The pressure, maybe, because
Exactly. Because if you get a closed skull fracture, it's going to have a contusion addressed with it. The skull itself, and that's where you use the trepan bit there on the end of the handle. This one has the handle attached. That's the handle for the other one. So this is the bit itself.
And were the doctors of the day do no harm, or was it take a chance?
Well, at this case, the patient's going to die. So you've got to do something. And in this case, it's a well-documented procedure. It's been done since the days of the cavemen. We've found, because the skull is starting to knit it back together again.
Wow.
So that, in essence, you're doing the same thing.
That's fascinating.
So you're boring a hole in through the bone. Now the bone of the skull doesn't have any nerve endings in it, so you're not feeling anything. The brain doesn't have any nerve endings in it, so you're not feeling anything there either. So once you've gotten through the scalp itself, that's the hard part for the patient.
Yeah.
And then you go in and you open up, you remove that bit of skull, then you pull off that piece of blood, and you can feel of it. It's very soft material. You use that for packing a wound with.
oh wow.
Super absorbent material, and point and say, hey, what does this do? And
So, aboard ship, whether it's a swivel gun or using one of the really big cannons below decks, this is called the worm.
And we would also ram this through to extinguish any embers that are still in there, because the last thing we want when we go to put a new cartridge in is for anything to fire early without us controlling it.
So we have pre-rolled rounds for this as well, but charge is twice as powerful. So, box open. This is our charge. Remember that round I pulled out and used for a blunderbuss? So, same kind of thing, just twice as big. I'm going to put that piece in from the bottom carefully, just in case he's already sponged everything else, there's no embers. I have to stick this through the touch hole at the top and prick it open to make sure when I add the powder to here, just like it did to the touch hole in the pan on there, when this powder goes off, it ignites that powder in there. Our lens stock with slow match on top of it. Go to the candle.
Stand by to give fire.
Have a care!
Pretty good.
Okay, let's see if any of these tents are open. They're kind of closed up. Got a little blanket in there. And, okay, this one's closed up. They had a garden back here. Livestock as well. All right, finally, let's take a look inside the museum in the Mitchell map. Another write-up. It's pretty old. Old tobacco warehouse. And up here, we've got the Susan Constance, the Speedwell, and Discovery. Here we go.
Oh my goodness, that was what was there. And then the empty lot across the street used to be Neil's store.
You're Barbara's sister,
I
aren't you?
know all of this. I know. And you can imagine saluted for the historic courthouse, Neil's store, and that's what happened. Yeah.
But they were then, the other boundaries were also kind of other people. But those Midland maps were actually later, or rather Mitchell maps, were later relied upon and referred to several other boundaries over the years when they needed to look at who the original boundaries.
Here, and that's there. Because he obviously didn't visit up at, right?
He did, Mitchell did use, they actually met Virginia and Maryland.
Yeah.
But these small towns.
Well, it's private property.
Past the post office.
No one has ever.
What an opportunity lost.
Yes, but I don't know if you saw where we're having Joanna, and will adopt a ordinance to delay demolition for historic designated, then this kind of thing can move forward.
Let me know
But
when you're ready to
it
break
first
into the
takes the
correct.
public to understand their options out there.
That's right.
And what people don't understand too is so many of the farmhouses all around.
They are.
Precious.
Yeah.
And they can have their own designations. With a sign big enough for her niece. The Churchill family from England, probably a second, third son, they were the ones America got, not the first sons. It was an archaeological dig done there 4 or 5 years ago, and they did find evidence in the back of what appears to have been a row of brick structures.
All right, guys, that's it for Urbanna. Cool little town, lots of history. Patrick Henry has visited. William Clark lived here. Richard Henry Lee lived here. And we got to see the famous Mitchell map. Pretty cool. But yeah, I'm gonna hit the road as always, guys. Like and subscribe. See you on the next one.